Great to see so many of you here to this network meeting. Just to introduce myself, Helen Ward. I joined RADS in August this year as a project lead to focus on the digital inclusion work and also the scams awareness. So I'm coming up to 3 months into the roles. So great to see all the amazing work that's being done on digital inclusion, the small grants, all the work that you're doing, and delighted to be part of it. So in terms of today's agenda, my other part of my role is part of what we're going to cover. So really to tell you about the new scams programme. We'll update you on the small grants. We'll have a brief update around PC refurb and the work they're doing. And then as part of the small grants, we've invited 2 of the successful groups that secured the grants to just talk a little bit about their projects. And then a network update. So I hope we'll get through well inside the time and have, some open forum, any discussion. Please either put your hand up in the chat, or if there's something you'd like to ask, please stop us as we go through so we can, keep it interactive. So yeah, I'd start off the session. My other one, I think they have an awful lot of sort of interplay and interrelation, is the Derbyshire Communities Against Scams programme. So this is really what I'd like to cover. Just what is it? What we're going to deliver? It's a 2-year programme. Talk a little about the types of scams and how we're working with Derbyshire Police. They've created an amazing character called Claude the Fraud, really to try and help get the message out. And it's all about this idea of prevention and how, with more understanding, we really can, as they say, sock it to the scammers. We've got a real life example and then sort of next steps and questions, because we really want, I guess, your support as well, how we can take it out into all the community groups and spread the word. So this Communities Against Scams programme is actually funded by the Derbyshire Police and Crime Commissioner, and it all aligns to their real focus about crime prevention. So it's sort of just, we're, I suppose, 6 months, a good 6 months in, but it's running out to the end of March 2026. And I think because of RAD's wide-reaching work into many different parts of the community across Derbyshire, was part of the reason we were selected to run this awareness campaign, and really reach out, because it's one of the Police and Crime Commission's real focus areas that we can work, and with more knowledge that we can try and stop the scammers. So yeah, it is all about scams prevention. How do we raise awareness? There are so many types of scams, but just with a little bit more, I think, thought, whether it's a digital and online, we can actually, or even in person, we can help stop. The national campaign on this, which comes down to the police, is Stop Think Fraud. I've taken a screenshot of their really good guide around scams and fraud. They are going to update this in line with the Stop Think Fraud. So I've just got Stop Think Tell, which is the previous slogan. So what are RAD going to do? So we've already now just gone live with a new resource on our website. So it's there now for you to look at, and we'll be providing lots of information, advice, resources on scams, how we can help, how you can report a scam, the types of scams. So there will be that resource that's live and ready to go. We are available to help through your groups with awareness, events, training. Our comms team will be doing lots of social media about scams, and it's all about building a network against scams out into the community. So again, your help and connection to widen the reach is really important. In year 2, we want to build out some scams champions, create sort of training collateral to help, and to look for some volunteers who would be interested to get involved. So what we're going to be doing really is creating this, I guess, advisory and information to community groups and organisations to help prevent fraud. We'll provide any training for staff and volunteers, and really to encourage and support people to report Action Fraud will deal with all kind of issues if people have felt they've been scammed. They can be reported that way, as well as getting help from the police. There's a huge amount of information Derbyshire Police have already created, and we're going to link with them to all the guidance around the different types of personal fraud. So that can be we see today a lot about online fraud, but it still very much happens via the traditional telephone method at people's homes. So this is what we call the doorstep fraud, even in the post, and obviously online. So I think it's just this message about don't assume people who they are that they say they are. Be very wary of the types of contacts you get. Always make sure that we destroy any of our documentation, and anything, don't throw it away in the bin. If something looks too good to be true, it's a shame we have to be suspicious, but it really is the way we need to kind of stand back from something and just think it through.
Can I just interrupt? Last night I was on Facebook and I thought, yeah, that's a good deal. So instead of just going straight on it, I copied the website, went on Googled it, scam. Yeah. So even I have to check it. So they're just too good.
Yeah. It is. It's almost you sort of think you won't get caught out yourself, but they're trying it on with everybody, aren't they? And
they are. And there was more than one as well.
Those,
so.
Yeah, it is quite unbelievable how the lengths that they will go. So just moving on onto our website now. This is how we're creating the look and feel of the website, just to give you a quick look. So there'll be lots of resources and advice around scams awareness, as well as the police, the Citizens Advice Bureau and Friends Against Scams and Trading Standards have all got programmes. So we're trying not to sort of mix that all in, but it's just so there is help elsewhere around if people do have issues and are scammed. That reach is there, and we want to make sure we connect through that as well. So there'll be quite a bit which I think gets people attention when you come to see Claude, this socket to the scammers. The police have actually done some short YouTube videos. He is like a little sock puppet, so I'll introduce him shortly, but it's quite thought-provoking, gets you thinking, and the whole awareness. So we'll have types of scams, information on that. We'll be doing social media posts, and then how to report a scam so you can actually get help. As I said before, clicking on this link, which you have to serve the presentation, Derbyshire Police have actually got an amazing website where you can read up and find help and guidance on all types of fraud. So this is the main link to their advice, but probably most of us will face things like the personal frauds, the online frauds. Once you click through, it lists all the different types, what to look out for. So they've created a wealth of information that probably you don't always think would be there. And we're working closely with their fraud prevention officer, Tammy Barnes, who's been instrumental in a lot of this resource creation. Two of the key things they wanted us to push out is to share this guide that they have, because it's available on a PDF. It'll be on our website, and it's a little A5. We've got some hard copy booklets as well. That again is a really good resource to share and help people. The biggest thing Tammy Barnes said to us is social media, and everyone talks about your privacy settings and setting up, who can see you, what can be accessed. But I didn't know there's actually the UK Safer Internet Centre available, which the police recommends that if everyone could go onto their particular social media, whether it's Facebook or WhatsApp, or whichever one you use, in there is a really detailed steps that are quite straightforward to help you protect yourself. I didn't know that existed, and I think she was saying a lot of what they see is people finding out about you on social media. So that was one of the things we really said at the moment to really push that out and focus on it. So here is Claude. He's been created by Derbyshire Police to support the sort of national campaign of Stop Think Fraud. So he's quite a character, and they've created a number of videos where he turns up in all sorts of places and actually stops a fraud happening and gets people to basically stop think fraud. So the current messages they've got are the short videos around things like marketplace scammers, romance fraud. Is something too good to be true? So if there's a bargain, it probably isn't real. And also more, concerningly, is scammers pretending to be family members. So that's, all part of his messaging. You got a lady who was targeted talking, which I'll just play the video in a second, but she managed not to fall for for the tricks of the scammer. And then also to follow on after that is a short introduction to one of Claude's videos. So I'll just I'm going to stop sharing my slides and share again this quick video if I can make the technology work. Is everyone seeing the slides okay? I'm not in a lag or...
I called from an unknown number. A male voice announced that he was the police working with my bank. They needed to know, had I transferred a sum of £3,000...
I can't see the video, Helen. I can hear it.
£6,000 to
Right.
Heathrow Airport. I said, certainly not.
Is everyone else seeing it, or...?
I said, then I will ring my bank first direct. And,
it's just come up.
That's it,
Yeah.
I think. You got it.
And he urged me to stay on the line.
Is it playing okay?
The essence. He asked me to get my debit card.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then he asked me if I could give him the long number on the back, and I said, no, certainly not. He said, why not? I said, because if I do that, I'm essentially falling into the trap of being scammed. So he then said, okay, well, you can trust me in First Direct. I asked him for his number and told him that I would call him back. I clicked off and started to call the number that he'd given me, and he unclipped his phone. He had obviously not hooked his end. He asked me to focus on sorting my accounts out, as all my accounts were now closed and invalid. I told him I was unwilling to give him any information over the phone. At that point, he said, right, take your card down and go to the nearest HSBC, one in Matlock or one in Chesterfield. He said, okay, take your card down there and just give it in. I said, why am I doing that? He said, just take your card down and hand it in. I think the next step is that he was going to be actually at the bank, waiting outside to intercept me before I took it in. I hung up and rang my bank, and they put me straight through to the fraud department. I felt extremely good for a start, because I hadn't been scammed, and it was my doing that I hadn't been scammed. But then I must admit I was concerned as to how they'd got my number, why I'd been picked and targeted, etc. It did affect me that way. He was extraordinarily good, and never have I encountered anybody able to deliver exactly what he thought his target wanted and needed. It was extremely well done.
Drop your weapons! Dr. Atcher, no! Shut up, Daddy.
Hello?
Hello, I'm DC Stevens from the police, and I'm investigating some fraudulent activity at your bank.
Oh, on my account?
Yeah, it's quite urgent though, if you could get me your details now.
Oh, let me get my card.
As it happens, I was mindful as well throughout the call. Certainly when I first picked it up, I was very mindful of the pink sock that I'd seen before, and it sort of raised a pink sock or flag in my mind saying, just be careful here. Routine is what creates boredom and turning off of interest, and your ears close. If you've got something innovative or different, and it's literally stocking it to you, then you're going to take notice.
Mind if another hobnob on my way out? Da.
I can hear you talking. Can you hear me? DC Stevens here.
Don't trust anything on the phone. It's as simple as that. And equally, that applies to emails and so on. Until you've verified it for yourself exactly and precisely and checked with an authentic source such as your bank, don't do it.
Stop, think, tell, and sock it to the scammers.
It's 6 a.m. Detectives from the City of London and Metropolitan Police are going to arrest Samuel Bonzu, and Isaac Nye.
Did most of you get that?
Yep.
Yes,
Great.
all good.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think the actual videos from Claude are good because you hear him talking, but the video sort of played over Claude a bit, but it's definitely worth having a look at the different videos that they've got on him, because yeah, he's sort of quite a character. Are my slides back now, or are they loading again?
They're back. I can see them clearly.
Yeah,
Helen.
they're back.
We
Great.
just Helen Sam Hancock has a hand up. I think she has a question or a comment.
Yeah.
Over
Great.
to you, Sam.
Is that me, Sam, or the other Sam?
Sam Hancock.
For those that don't know me, I'm Sam Hancock. I'm Cyber Protect for Derbyshire Police. And we do a lot of work with Tammy, because obviously a lot of fraud is cyber enabled. But I just wanted to remind people that in terms of sort of all the things that we see online, in terms of sponsored ads, sponsored websites, the detailed social media guides you've just referred to, they are covered in all of our inputs. So any of those of you that have had our input over the last 3 years hopefully should have seen that content. However, if people aren't aware of it, that makes me a little bit nervous. So I'm wondering if perhaps we ought to do another webinar, because we talk through all of these key messages. We've also got, and given the sort of internet issues that we've got at the moment, I don't propose to play it, but I have a clip on YouTube of the Loft Insurance AI telephone call that interacts with you. That now is also included in every input we do to the public. And just to give you a little idea, I was asked for Q1's results in terms of public engagement and how many sessions we'd run. And it turned out that we'd reached just under 3,000 in Q1, and my colleague Joe has done them for Q2 just yesterday. And apparently we've hit another 3,000 of the public. So I just wanted to clarify a few little bits there, but if there's interest in me running the cyber awareness, fraud and scams input, which incorporates some of the things we've talked about this morning, I'm very open to running that as a webinar. We'll run it for your volunteers, we'll run it for the organisations you work for. We are desperate to get these key messages out to the public, and if you can help us do that and protect yourselves along the way, that would be fantastic.
Oh, thank you very much, Sam. That would be great. I did listen into one of your webinars before I joined RAD, so I can absolutely vouch. It was, you know, fantastic content. So, yeah, we'd love to do some sessions with you. I'm sure, you know, out through the groups, and your offer on that's really appreciated. So maybe we could have a catch up after the call.
Yeah. And I'll put my email address in the chat so everybody's got it.
Yeah.
And just to remind everybody, we don't charge you either. This is a free service we're offering, because I know that makes a difference.
Oh.
If you have got the facility for us to be able to do it in person, in groups, face to face, either you want us to come out to your groups or you want to do a staff and volunteer training session, we can do that. The only downside for us is that we unfortunately don't have any budget in terms of hiring rooms, but we will poll up with our tech, our content, and deliver it free of charge. It's just finding the location to be able to do it. We have got a couple of webinars coming up. There is one called Financially Motivated Sexual Exploitation, which essentially is sextortion of teenagers by organised crime groups. That's for parents, grandparents, teachers, anybody that works with children. That's the 15th of October at 3:45 in the afternoon, because we're hoping to try and catch the school staff. And then also Monday, the 28th of October at 6:30 in the evening, another Teams webinar. And that is it's with Jamie Dean. And it's an overview in terms of some cyber awareness. We've taken some of the scams out because we've incorporated a little bit of information for those that care for children. But again, we will be running more in November. So please do sign up to Derbyshire Alert or follow us on Derbyshire Police Online Safety on Facebook, because that is where we put all that information when we're advertising.
Oh, that's great. I'm sure we could look to get that posted out as well, Sam, on the RAD social media and website, perhaps. Perhaps we can discuss that after.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So just a few more slides. This is sort of the link to, again, the advice from Derbyshire Police and to Action Forward for reporting a crime or a scam. I think the next steps, it is really, I guess, your help. We want to reach as far and wide with the message on prevention as part of this programme. And it's something I picked up from Samantha's webinar when I listened in back in July, this idea that if we can all tell two people, and those two people tell two people, we create this big spread of the message and helping people to understand. So if you can share any of the resources with your groups, and now we've got the offer from Samantha to take up on some of those further sessions. Rather happy to do sessions through myself. We've got the Claude videos. We've got Scams Awareness Week coming up on October the 21st, so we'll be pushing out some information on that. So I guess as a first pass, just to get engaged with you all, and I know you're all part of different groups, we'd just like to make that connection, let you know, and look to plan in any sessions or help we can give you. So are there any other questions? Any?
Yes, Helen, John Dick has his hand up, and also Leslie Winnard after that.
Hello, John.
Hello, says he. Hello, I'm attending a conference in Llandudno for retired members of Unison. And one of the things we're emphasising, I've got a display here of how we make connections in Derbyshire right across the county, and seeing how successful we are across our county with the Digital Support Derbyshire Network. I could show you my stand here. We're full of leaflets and full of information. And one of the things that I've just heard here, that Samantha Hancock, it would be very interesting to get information from you, because I am now on the National Executive for the National Pensioners Convention, and we have monthly newsletters of digital connections. It's called the Digital Connections for All. And one of the things we are very keen to do is to emphasise just that scamming awareness, which will be so useful for me to help people to understand how to avoid scamming. So if you could take my details, I'd be very helpful to you as well, because in Ashbourne, we've got our lovely Tea Talk Tech Cafe that Connex have so valiantly, successfully done over the last 2 years. And I think they're going to reopen the Tea Talk Tech in Wirksworth in the very near future. So that's all positive and it's all successful. But one of the things I'll emphasise here is that what I'm trying to do today is to get Unison to be involved in the community, and by doing in the community, I mean the voluntary services in the area that the people live from their work. And this is one of the things that they seem to be union orientated and not community orientated. And I think once we start working together in that sense, we will get far more positive reaction to going online and to understand computers. There's my bit.
Thank you, John. I'm now going to go on to Leslie Winard.
Hi, morning. I mean, this is sort of scams, but I just wanted people to be aware of how scams aren't always online. I was a victim of an identity scam in the fact that the tenants that I had thought were in my property and were legally checked through my letting agent had provided a lot of fake ID and a lot of fake checks. And this resulted in my family home being used as a marijuana and cannabis growing site. So yeah, it can go far, you know, and I'd say if anyone is thinking of letting their home or are letting, what I would say is the police have been in and given us some advice, but in all fairness, it was down to the letting agents who potentially didn't do adequate and deep dive checks and didn't do a property check.
Yeah, that's concerning when you put your sort of trust in the letting agent, isn't it?
Yes, because this is something that
that
we left it in their capable professional hands. And in hindsight, what we should have done is demand to see internal photographs, because obviously a letting agent is meant to go in after 3 months and do a proper check, and they didn't check things that, looking back, would have highlighted a issue. So it is just, you know, to be warned on that. I know this is digital scams, but I just thought there's people out here that are maybe connected to groups, or maybe people that are renting properties, and actually this is something they should be really aware of.
Yeah, I think we are looking at, we do want to embrace all scams, because yes, it isn't just digital. It's the whole shooting match really. So, but it's really helpful to. I hope you've got through that and somehow got it sorted. But it can't have been a very nice experience.
No, it's a huge insurance job, I'm afraid, and building job for the damage that was made to the chimney breasts.
Oh my goodness, terrible.
However,
no, thank you, Leslie, for sharing
that. If I was to see photographs now of somebody's home that was checked by a letting agent, I would perhaps be able to spot the signs.
Yeah. So thank you again for sharing that, and yeah, hope you get through it and come out the other side. Could put it behind you. But it just leaves a terrible sort of feeling, doesn't it? It's really not nice.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Was there any other questions, Sam? Sorry.
We have a few, actually. We have Fiona Unwin next, and then Miriam Deakin, and followed by Tony Ford.
Hi, everybody. My name's Fiona. I work for Public Health at Derbyshire County Council. So I just wanted to ask Helen, is there specific communities or target groups? I know anybody and everybody could be affected by scams, but I just wondered, you know, is there something like certain things will be aimed at younger people, older people, vulnerable people? Is there any sort of research or any target groups at all?
Derbyshire Police actually are collecting that type of data based on the scams that are happening and profiling it by age groups and types of scams. So we did have an initial meeting a couple of weeks ago. We want to see how we can then take that as like information to, you know, spread that word of the types of things you might likely to see in particular groups. So that is coming together. That's we can hopefully then be more targeted. But I think generally everyone and anyone is a target. So it's trying to get the reach out to everyone, because it kind of crosses all of RAD's activity. No, thank you very much. Thank you.
I would confirm that from our experience and the information we get in from the likes of Get Safe Online and the National Fraud Intelligence Bureau. Essentially what we see, and this catches a lot of people out, in terms of the age group statistically most affected by cybercrime, and for us that's offences against the Computer Misuse Act, it's actually 16 to 24-year-olds. Because proportionally they do so much more online, and unfortunately they are much more blasé for two reasons. One is they are used to technology, and secondly, they quite often don't have very much money to lose, so they're not quite as cautious. And then towards the opposite end of the spectrum, we're looking at sort of over 60s, and I hate using that term now because I've now reached over 50 and I don't like viewing over 60s as old because it just isn't. But that is the age group where we see the more significant losses, and I'm sure Fiona probably knows more about this than me. It's also actually the impact on physical and mental health when somebody's been scammed, because it's not just the loss of the money, it's what it does to somebody. It really is terribly detrimental. So that's just a little overview from our side, but yes, Tammy has got somebody looking at stats and everything at the moment, and we're really excited to be able to pinpoint things more. Obviously only students are going to be targeted with student loan scams, but everything else could be anybody. And if I'm absolutely honest, the people I worry about most are the ones that say, oh, it wouldn't happen to me.
Shall we go on? Thank you, Sam. Shall we go on to the next question? I think we have Miriam Deakin, Tony Ford, and Andre Gnersch. So maybe I think Andre would be the last one with the time that we've got remaining. So Miriam Deakin.
It's apologies, it's clearly not Miriam. It's technology. For some reason the right name was there until it clicked through, and then Miriam's is a colleague's name that's popped up, but that's life. It's Kevin Curtis. I'm the
Kevin.
Hi.
Oh, nice to meet you.
And meet your good self. It's Kevin from the Canaan Trust, homeless charity based in Erewash. Yes, I was trying to send a message to Samantha because I was particularly interested in her offer to come out and do a presentation, give a talk, whatever title you want to give. Here at the Trust, we have our own education facility. So the facility is not the issue. We've got all the equipment to facilitate a talk, a presentation. Basically, we work with a lot of vulnerable adults, and it would be beneficial if they could be the recipients of a presentation. We have the police coming to give presentations on lots of issues, community police officers. We have the Derbyshire Health Authority coming, giving sexual health, the whole gambit. So this would fit in perfectly with our general programme, and I'm sure would assist our clientele to protect themselves. We have, kind of very basic situations where even when people are coming out of the job centre, they're approached by individuals offering use of their bank accounts or offering to help them get extra money if they give them access to their UC accounts, etc. So it's online, it's face-to-face, it's the whole works. So Samantha, I don't know how I can get hold of your details or you can get hold of mine. It would be very good if we could contact and communicate with each other.
We can link you in if that's helpful, Kevin.
Please.
And Tony?
Hello, I run a community hub, so digital inclusion is a part of what we do. We have lots of people coming in who are, let's say 60 would be young for the group sometimes. I helped a lady who was 88 and never been on a computer in her life for the first time this week. So for me, there's a balance to be had between frightening people about scams so they can get caught out, and encouraging people to take the risk and go online. We do that by using our own computers, which are protected with our own email addresses and everything else. So people can feel safe in the things that they're doing. We've got another person coming in to give a scams talk. We do a presentation every month about something. So we've got somebody coming in on the 19th, and they're certainly going to focus on the commonest thing which is going on at the moment, which is on landlines. Everybody gets calls virtually every day on landlines, somebody trying to sell them or scam them or about something with phone lines. So we want to help people to feel safe, but we also want to help them to be able to go online for the first time to see what the capabilities of it are without being frightened.
Thank you, Tony. I think that is really important, isn't it? Because, yeah, we want people to have the benefit of the digital access, but not to be put off. So, yeah, especially the more older age group. So, who's doing your session on the 19th? Is that another group or for scams?
No, it's an individual. It's an individual who's got his own project for teaching about scams. He's funded and goes around and giving lectures, so he's coming to speak to us.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. How are we all right, Sam, for time?
And we have Andre finally.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'd also posted a comment in, which I'm not quite sure whether was picked up, but my question was about the distribution of the information that was presented earlier, because obviously, information is only as good as it, when it can be seen. And apologies if I missed that, because I had to move away from the desk for a few minutes. So I don't know what was said about distribution, but obviously, but I just made the comment about the videos. Obviously, they need to be found in the first place on the internet. And require some digital capability to do so. So I'm wondering about other ways of or what is being done basically to distribute the information online, but also in particular physically. So to those people who are not online, who may not be searching for a scam awareness video. I'm not quite sure who will actually do that, unless you are affected by it, by which time it's probably too late.
So I guess, so on the Rural Action Derbyshire website now is a new page under what we do. So all of the things we talked about today, we'll have the recording of the video, the slides. We have got all the links to the Claude videos. And for those that aren't online, we've actually got hard copies of, it's an A5 fraud booklet that Derbyshire Police produce, which Rad has been handing out at a lot of the events over the summer that we've been at, but we are looking to be able to share that hard copy. You can also download it as a PDF. It will be on our website. So I think, Sam, perhaps when we do the update from this call, sharing the recording, we can make sure all of that information is available. And if we can share some hard copies, we can get those.
Oh, Helen, I think your internet connection's going a little bit. What I suggest we do, if it's a bit iffy, is maybe we just go straight on into I'm just going to do a quick update about the grants programme, and then more importantly, we've got Mike Swan from Ashbourne Food Bank and Kevin Curtis from the Canaan Trust, who are two of the grant-funded projects, and they're going to tell us a little bit more about what their plans are. So I'm going to be quite brief. But I'm just quickly going to share my screen. It's a very brief presentation. Can people see that? Yeah. Great. So let me just get it so it's a full screen, if it will play. There we go. So the Digital Support Derbyshire grant funded projects, we had round 1 earlier this year and are about to start round 2 at the end of the month. We'll be sending out information about that once it goes live. So in the last round, we were very lucky. We had a very high standard of applicants and we've actually awarded funding to 9 projects. And just to quickly tell you who they are, we have the Canaan Trust, Ashbourne Food Bank, who we're going to be hearing from, Citizens Advice, North East Derbyshire, Digital Connect, the Freedom Community Project, Links CVS Resource Centre that are based in Chesterfield, the Kings Road Area Neighbourhood Watch over at Sandy Acre, and we've heard briefly from Tony just this morning, actually. Tony's here. Chesterfield FC Community Trust Senior Spy Rights. And again, something that Andre is involved with, Connects Community Support, Tea, Talk and Tech in Wirksworth. And then finally, Barrow Hill Community Trust with Barrow Hill Gets Online. So I could go into more detail about those, but I'm going to hand over to Mike Swan of Ashbourne Food Bank now, who will tell us in a bit more detail about what their plans are.
Good morning, everyone. So, as I said, my name's Mike Swan. I'm the community outreach worker at the Elam Church in Ashbourne, the manager of the food bank. We get a lot of people coming in that are vulnerable, that don't have access online. We've actually got 2 people that aren't allowed access online without supervision. So what we're trying to set up at the moment, and I've got a few pictures to go through, there's only about 3 to be honest. Sorry for any background noise. We're in the process of doing some dinner for 80 people, which will turn up about 12 o'clock. So there's a lot of banging going on here, and it's smelling gorgeous. But yeah, so if you're in the area, come down. You can have dinner at 12:30. So yeah, so basically, it's just connecting with people and seeing what does people need. Since we've had the money come in, we've looked at what we can do. We've got the laptops off the PC refurb place in Glossop, so they're all up and running. We've got Office on them all. We've managed to get a printer which can go up to A3 printing. We did actually offer it out to someone that was on Facebook not long ago. They said, "Oh, I need some stuff printing off. Can anyone help?" And I literally just said, "Come down." And they brought a USB drive, plugged it in, they printed off what they needed. It wasn't an issue. So it's starting as we go in. We've got groups running. We run the CAP money course budgeting program. And if I can share my screen, I know Sam said send them to her, but I'm gonna try this. Okay, here we go. I don't know what you're seeing now.
That's showing completely okay, Tony.
Right. Okay, so the CAP course is this one here. So there was just 3 people in this group, and before we started, I just set them up. So yeah, we had 3 people come down, then I was sat on the table this side of the camera side. And they can actually access all the information they need via the laptops that we were given. It's a free course. You just book on. I think this one's actually finished. This was the last one that we did. So we're looking at doing some more with CAP as we go on with that. But as you can see, we've got the room. I mean, there's another angle of the same room. We can seat up to 12 people in here. We haven't got 12 laptops, but we can seat up to 12. So little exciting things like that. And what we can also do, and one of the laptops that we were given is set up in this room. Hang on. Let's try that. That should work. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the laptop's set up in the cupboard there, and then it's projected onto the wall via projector. So again, if we need to do it, and this is, I must admit, when we were just talking about the crime prevention stuff, the last webinar that we did, or they did, I threw it on this screen. And I set the room up with, I think, about 12 or 15 chairs. And we had about 6 people turn up. and we just sat there and watched the webinar through one of the laptops that were given to us. So I just, to be honest, it was a bit of a last minute decision because I only heard about it on, I think on the Tuesday, and it was literally live on the Thursday or Friday. So, but I think, it worked. So, you know, when more planning, I'd expect the room to be packed, and it's got a sound system in there as well. So it's very clear. The laptops I've got don't have cameras, so we can't interact with people on them, but they're good for just receiving the information. So I mean, that does work there. In terms of getting things set up, I've had to change our broadband supplier here because I needed one where people could, when they go on to the laptops, they have to log in and with their email address or a email address or sign up to one, and then they have to agree to terms and conditions. It was basically like you would at a hospital or in a cafe or something, so it was very simple. So I've actually changed that. That's being in progress now. Our tech guys actually sorting it out. This is the stuff that we're throwing out at the moment. I think there's one hanging up in the library in Ashbourne at the moment. We're just getting information back to see how it goes. So it lays out there basically everything we can help. So we can help with online courses, applications, universal credit applications. That, to be honest, that is one of the biggest things that people have problems with. Everything's done online. To be honest, me and my wife have only just had to go onto universal credits because her job that she's had has stopped. And it's a very complicated system to navigate around the online stuff. So again, we can help with that. If people are willing to sit down and talk, we've got the information, we've got this, we've got the gear, we've got the laptops, we've got the internet. We can do this with them. With the meal that we're doing today, most of the people here are going to be over 70. So we're offering online ordering stuff. If they've never done it and they want to learn how to do it, we'll do a one-to-one chat with them. We're using some of the funding from me and Sarah, who's actually in the kitchen at the moment cooking. We actually go out to people's houses. I actually took a laptop. I actually took my laptop out, but we could take one of them. We took one of the laptops out to someone's house and we sat there and we showed them how to do an online order with avocado. I can't remember which one it is, the Waitrose one. and they were amazed. They thought it was just so easy. There are things that you do need to watch, like the crime prevention side I've already said. You know, be careful who you're giving the details to, and that. What I've always recommended on that type of ground, especially with a couple of the clients that have had money go out of their bank account, is it's not too hard to get a basic bank account with a card. So why not have one account, what I do, that you use for online purchases, things that you use that you don't have to use again. So you may just make that one-off purchase, and it's excuse me, sorry about that. It's happened to me where I have actually gone online. I bought something genuinely for a few pennies, and then about a week later, the same company have tried taking out a subscription fee, and you go, whoa. Luckily, it's on the account that doesn't have any money in it because I only use it to pay for stuff, and it never went through. But little things like that. So when it comes to online ordering, we can be a little bit more one-to-one with people instead of group settings like the CAP money courses, or if we're watching a webinar, it's a group setting. So these are just some of the things that we do, and things that we are going to be progressing into. It needs to get bigger. I admit we have a brilliant kitchen here. We can have tea and coffee all day long if we wanted it. Monday is my best day at the moment, but it is open all week. I'm here 3 days a week myself, so anyone can just message and say, I need some printing, I need some help, I need something to do. One guy's coming down this afternoon at 4 o'clock to print off his CV. So yeah, we don't have to book them in; they can just turn up. However, I did say he could come down and have a meal, which he's refused, but that's not a problem. So yeah, that is basically where we're up to, really. I would say out of all the clients we've got, probably 30 of them are not online or have access to online. 2 of them, or no, not 2, probably about 5 of them have got little flip phones. So again, they've got nothing, they've got no access on a flip phone. It's just literally a phone. So this is just, it gives them that opportunity to get out there and help people.
Thank you, Mike. I'm aware of the time at the moment, but we do have a quick question from Tarina Davis, and then we'll go on to Kevin to hear about the Canaan Trust.
Yeah, you know that poster you just put up? Where is the poster on your website? Because I'm on your website now.
Oh, it's not gone on there yet.
It's not on there yet.
No, it's not on there yet. I think it went onto Facebook. Yeah, I really want to get the website sort of changed a little bit, because there's not a lot on the actual church website which goes to the food bank. I also need to get up a sign-up form and the referral forms added to there. It's just nailing the guy that does that type of stuff. Sitting him down and going, this is what I want.
Can you email it to me, and I'll put my email address in the chat. Thank you.
Sound.
Thank you. So over to Kevin now at the Canaan Trust.
Hello, thank you for having me. Yes, the Canaan Trust, just to put a little context to it, the Canaan Trust is an independent homeless charity. We've been operational since 1995, and we work 24/7, 365. There are no holidays here. We work right the way through, and yes, we are totally accessible to anyone in need, any time of the day, night, day of the year. Even through COVID, we didn't close our door. We remained totally publicly, directly accessible. And that's really where a lot of our digital accessibility works started, because we would have individuals who were very vulnerable, who couldn't talk to the council, couldn't talk to DWP, couldn't talk to various agencies, simply because they'd all retreated to home-based working. And the only way of getting in contact was via the internet or a mobile phone. And not everyone even has a mobile phone. So in the last year or so, we have purchased over 60 phones. And initially, we used to fit the SIM cards to them to enable the individuals to actually use the phones. We actually set up a partnership with Vodafone, which they've expanded from little acorns, great things grow. Vodafone have picked up on the need, and this might be useful information for various constituted organisations. Basically, Vodafone now supply us with all the SIM cards we need, and they are fully charged with 2 gigabytes of data per month for 6 months, free texts and phone calls for 6 months, etc., giving an individual the opportunity to get themselves sorted and established. So we provide the handset, and now, where originally we provided the SIM cards, now Vodafone kindly provide all the SIM cards for us. So that's just one small aspect of the work that we do to try and break down the barrier. And sadly, I still think that government, local authorities and various agencies do need to understand the significant barriers that are there for many families, individuals, vulnerable people who don't have the means of using a mobile phone or the internet. I mean, through COVID, we had a situation, just as one example, an individual that we connected with DWP to make a benefit claim, and the system just didn't bend. They said, right, well, we've made contact today, but we need to do a checking phone call tomorrow, and we'll ring back this individual. Now, this individual is street homeless. We'll ring them back sometime between 9 and 5 tomorrow. And it's chucking it down with rain like it was yesterday. And we're basically saying to the operative, you know, can you not be a little bit more helpful, a bit more positive? What time would you ring? No, it doesn't work that way. And they accused us of being unreasonable. So the system needs to recognise the realities of digital exclusion and what has to be done. So the grant that you've kindly given us, We, in fact, are in the midst of a major expansion programme. We are just creating a dedicated female house, because there isn't one in Derbyshire. If you're homeless and female, the best you will get offered is a place in shared accommodation with unknown males who will have their own issues, could be a perpetrator. And basically, a lot of these places are not staffed 24/7. They are supported in what we call floating support. Someone will pop in once a week for an hour or so. The Canaan Trust, we are staffed 24/7 all the time. So we're going to open a female house in January. It's a major investment. We're only a small charity. We haven't got bags of money. In fact, we've got no money, but that never daunts us, never stops us. This female project is costing us 850,000. And when we set out on the road, we hadn't got a penny in the bank towards it. So in the last 2 years, we have raised in excess of £1 million in all sorts of ways. Car boot sales, tea sessions, right the way through to grant funding, etc. Whatever it takes, we'll make it happen, because we're here to solve the need. So digital exclusion is a major part of homelessness and vulnerability, and we are fully intended to proactively play our part. Can I just simply pay compliment to PC Refurb? Since obviously they came on the scene, we have had 2 occasions to make contact with them, and we have successfully been supported by them. They have provided us with 2 laptops to provide to 2 clients that we're working with out in the community, who for various reasons wanted to further their education. One individual, his education was shot simply because he'd been a long-term carer for his grandmother, and he sacrificed his own education and his own future looking after his grandmother. And now he's signed up. We've helped him fast track the access programs and got him straight onto a degree program. But he needs the ability to be on a computer with broadband at his home base so he can actually complete his studies. So thank you to PC Refurb. Keep up the good work. We appreciate all you're doing, and we appreciate you being there.
Thank you, Kevin. Actually, PC Refurb, Helen is here from PC Refurb at the meeting this morning. I don't know if you wanted a very quick word, Helen, just to quickly update and remind people about the services that are on offer across Derbyshire.
Super quick, because we're over time. But, thank you very much for that, Kevin. Yes, we're delighted to have been able to pass on some equipment to you and other members of the network, some of whom are here, which is fantastic. So yes, a reminder, part of the whole Digital Support Derbyshire network is that we are available as a charity in ourselves to provide refurbished equipment to people that you refer to us, or for your own groups, as we've done with Mike at the Ashbourne Food Bank. Really happy to be able to provide this equipment, and it's part of our work with Rural Action Derbyshire to provide this. So I'm not going to witter for long, but yes, we do try to, if you've got an urgent need, let us know. Otherwise, we always have a waiting list, because we provide equipment now all over Derbyshire and Tameside and beyond, and we run our own digital skills support in High Peak in multiple groups. So digital inclusion are us as well. Sam and Helen, you can share links with everybody in communications as to how people get in touch with us, but just look us up, PC Refurb, and there's a dedicated link on our application page for members of this network, which helps us fast track things a little bit more. Is that enough?
Thank you. Perfect. Back to you, Helen.
Just to quickly add on what Helen said, we are also going out now to businesses to look for more donations, because we need to make sure we've got the funnel coming in to PC Refurb, so those devices are there. So we are looking that donation element as well. So just to say, we're trying to tackle both ends, and then, you know, really to get those devices out, you know, to help people that need it.
Yeah, it's a very, very circular process. We need the kits refurbished that we can then give away, and interrupt the process of businesses and other organisations that would normally, you know, dispose of their equipment in another way. If anyone needs a technical conversation with me about how we do all of that securely, you can direct them to me.
If you'd like to share the contact details for businesses, we have very successful social media programs, and we make appeals out for all sorts. I'd be quite happy to carry a promotion for you and to get businesses to link directly with you.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. That would be excellent, because it is part of just sort of spreading the word. And I think there's a lot of businesses that do want to look at their corporate social responsibility, and, you know, how the sort of recycling and reuse can, you know, work. So that's a great offer. Thank you. Are there any other questions? I appreciate we've gone over, and fantastic turnout, and appreciate everybody's contribution and sharing of where we're at. I think that, you know, there's a lot going on. There's lots of offers around how can we help, you know, with the scams awareness. Please reach out to Sam or I. We've obviously made some action things, all the asks. How do we connect the police, and Samantha Hancock's offer out to you all? So yeah, great session. And if there's any other questions, we'll have a quick hands up now. We'll say thank you and have a good rest of the day. Lovely. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.